Good evening and welcome back. We're so glad to have you back with us this month, and I look forward to these shows. We have some exciting guests for you for this show. For this particular show, we're going to talk about transportation, and we also have exciting guests for you in the last half of the show, and that's going to be the Silver Tappers and Miss Senior Golden Years. So I know you're looking forward to all of that. As I tell you all the time, though, be sure you have pencil and paper ready to write down any information we provide, whether it's phone numbers, contacts, or anything else, because the information we provide is so crucial and so important, and that's why we want you to have it. Tonight, I just want to welcome my guests. I have sitting right next to me, Eric Whalen. He's the transportation supervisor at the Pahrump Senior Center. Eric?
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
And we have a repeat guest, and that's Albert Bass. He's been on before, and he's the mobility manager. And mobility manager for who?
For the southern rural counties of Nevada.
Southern rural counties. So that covers a large area, and we're included in that, being in NYE County. So,
Yeah.
Albert,
Thank you.
welcome to the show again. And we want to get on because there's so much to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is I know we're in Pahrump, and we talk about transportation in Pahrump. How did that get started? When did we start talking about it? Give me some background so that we have our audience with the background as well.
Well, I've been with the Transportation Committee now for about 3 years, but the Transportation Committee has actually been operating for about 15, 16 years.
Okay.
And this is a committee of people within multiple organizations and local government working on the transportation issue and basically the lack of transportation available for our community.
So now, when you say lack of transportation, you're talking public transportation.
Right, the lack of public transportation. Okay. And that program has been in the works for many, many years.
Okay.
But it's been very difficult to do for rural areas is to start public transportation programs. It's a cost issue, it's a needs issue. You have to establish the needs. So there's been many studies done over the last 10, 12 years.
Okay.
There's been a lot of assessments that have been done over the last 10, 12 years. But really about 3 years ago, we started putting a focused plan together for getting public transportation in place to assist the transportation we already have with, like we do with the taxi organization, with Integrity
Okay.
Taxi, like we do with the Pahrump Senior Center,
Yeah.
but expanding those into the greater capacity for the whole community. And so now we're at a point where we are just within a month or two away of being able to get that started for the whole community and offer the public transportation assistance.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now we're talking bus transportation.
Correct.
Yes.
How many buses do we have, or would we have?
Okay, we would have 2 buses, one serving the north end of town, one serving the south end of town. And the hours of operation would be from 7 till 4, Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And there's even some talk, and I'm hoping this comes to fruition, that we will be transporting from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Now, I know we jumped into it, but I wanted to ask, how did the Senior Center get involved in this?
Well, I'll speak to that a little bit. We've had a plan in place working with the county, working with the Transportation Committee, and working with NDOT for the last couple of years. There's been some changes and things at NDOT, some personnel changes that have delayed the process some. Well, coming into this last grant year, when we submit our grants to NDOT for funding for public transportation, they were at a point where they had to hold off for new startups and only operate and fund existing programs.
Okay.
And, well, you know, one of the best existing programs we have is the Pahrump Senior Center. So they fortunately agreed, the board and the transportation coordinators at the Senior Center agreed to just enhance and expand their program to what they already offer to the whole community. So it was a really good fit to be able to take some smaller amounts of funding, divert that into the Senior Center instead of trying to create a whole new program.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It saves money all the way around. It also saves a lot of effort.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, they've got a process in place. They've got a very good system in place. They've been serving the community for many years. People are very familiar with what the Senior Center does for its seniors. So now we'll just be enhancing that program to open it up to the whole community.
Yeah, and one of the primary goals of this meeting today is to let the public be aware that we are not strictly senior. You know, that's a common misperception here in the community,
Okay.
is that we only cater to seniors. And that is not the case. We offer transportation for anybody in the community.
Is there a cost for anybody except the seniors? Or what about the seniors?
It's going to be a fare-based system, and it'll be a demand response fare-based system. And the fare right now, we're kind of trying to figure it out to get precise numbers. The only thing that is going to be exempt from that fare base is the 60 and over population here.
The seniors.
Yeah,
Okay.
and to meet Division of Aging guidelines, they will be at the same fare scale, but it'll be a donation, a suggested donation for the seniors.
Okay.
Rather than a strict fare.
Now that sounds great, and I know you'll probably end up with some bus passes and all the other things that may happen. So I know you're looking at all of that, but you mentioned something, and I'm not sure if everybody out there knows. What is demand response?
Demand response is, it's simply you call ahead, let us know that you need transportation for a given day.
Okay.
We put you into a schedule, and we will be there, and we'll accommodate your needs.
At the bus stop?
No, this will not be. This will be door-to-door service.
Door to door. So coming to your home
Yes.
to pick you up.
Yeah, due to the geographic layout of Pahrump, bus stops are just not a feasible option
Okay.
because there'd be too far of a distance from the home to the bus stop. So and Albert, you've had the studies.
Yeah, we've actually had studies where we've looked at demand response versus routed systems, which you might see in an area like Las Vegas where you have the bus go on their routes. We've looked at checkpoint systems, but for most rural communities, the most effective system to serve those communities ends up being demand response. Now, in the future, if our data shows that we have enough people riding through certain areas to create a route or a checkpoint system, then we can do that at that point. But it doesn't make sense to do that initially and then to force people into those routes. We would rather do, like Eric said, do a door-to-door system. You call at least 24 hours in advance to schedule that ride, and then someone's at your door to pick you up, take you where you need to go, and then take you back home.
And as this progresses, as we see how things are going to work out, it may not even require a 24-hour notice. We may be able to do a demand response on the fly. You may be able to just call up and say, hey, I need a ride. Since we are separating, 372 will be the dividing line.
Okay.
Okay, and obviously there's going to be a little bit of overlap. If I'm picking up somebody from the south end of town, they need to go to Walmart. I'm not going to stop at 372.
Transfer buses.
Yeah. But, we're going to be able to, hopefully, since we have buses on both ends of town, be able to go out and accommodate anybody within 20 minutes to a half an hour without the 24-hour notice. That's our goal.
Okay, I call you, and you come to my house and pick me up and take me to Walmart.
Yes.
And I do, say, 2.5 hours of shopping. Some people make it all day. But say 2.5 hours of shopping. How do I get back home?
You simply call up our main office, and that's 775-751-6860.
Okay.
We'll dispatch a driver directly to you. The drivers also are equipped with cell phones and Bluetooth, and they will have numbers directly that you can reach the driver directly and let them know, hey, I'm ready to be picked up.
Okay.
And we'll be on our way.
So they give you some idea of when they're going to be there.
Yes.
Would that be also, say I call for tomorrow and I want to go to Walmart, and not advertising Walmart. That's a big location in town. Okay, so I want to go to Walmart, and how will I know what time you're going to pick me up?
You would just simply call.
I mean,
would
when
just wait on your
I say
call.
I want to leave at 8:30 in the morning, but say somebody else is being picked up at 8:30, I may be later. How will I know when the bus is going to be outside?
We typically, if there's going to be a variance between your actual pickup time,
Okay.
we will give you a call.
Okay.
Because in that, the demand response, when you call to make your reservation, we will get your information, we will get your phone number. So if anything varies within 15 minutes, any longer than 15 minutes, we will notify you and let you know that this is your pickup time.
Okay, now I have the big question, and I know everybody's chomping at the bits for this question to be asked. When can all of this actually take place? When will we actually see buses on the street?
Well, we're looking at starting this program with a soft launch sometime in February.
Okay.
We have a gentleman coming in mid-January from Washington, D.C. with the CTAA, which is the Community Transportation Association of America. He will be coming here to help put a plan in place to help inform and educate the community. And we will work with him on seeing how much time we should put into that and what we should do specifically to do that through media, social media, open meetings to the public at various locations in town. So once we get through that process, then we can consider going into a full launch, basically.
Yes.
So we want to give that a 30 to 45-day window.
Great, okay.
And so definitely by the end of February, we should be operating completely out of the senior center with a full schedule.
Okay. And I heard you say that you're going to have meetings so the public can come and find out more information.
And those meetings will be posted through social media and through the newspaper and through shows like yours to get that information out so that anybody in the community can come and attend and ask questions and learn how they could take advantage of this system.
I think this is going to be fantastic for Pahrump. And later on, I'm saying maybe a year or so, we're talking about expanding throughout NYE County.
Yeah, the goal ultimately within a 2 to 5 year plan is to help promote the services within our whole county.
Okay.
And there's currently a collaboration of all of the transportation providers in Southern Nevada to work together to how we can better systematically put plans in place for people between the counties, between Clark County and NYE County and Esmeralda and Lincoln County. And so that collaboration of all those organizations will help put a better system in place to move people throughout the whole southern part of the state.
Okay, I want to, for Eric, if you can go ahead and give that number again. If somebody needs to call and get information right now, what number would they call?
They call 775-751-6860.
One more time.
775-751-6860.
Okay. And Albert, if they needed to contact you?
My office is located at the NYE Communities Coalition. So the phone number there is 775-537-2795.
Okay.
And that's a direct line to my desk. So any transportation questions, if you're having trouble planning a trip for yourself or want to know what your options are, you can call me and I will help you get that information.
Okay. Now, I know we're running out of time for this session, and we're going to move right into the next session, but there's so much information that's out there, and we're going to be talking about vet trans. We're going to be talking about quite a few other things because there's so much going on in the transportation area. And right now, I've got the experts right here with me. So I want to make sure that you're there. Make sure you have your pen, paper, write down this information, knowing that probably sometime mid-February, you're going to see all this happening. So come back and join us in the next session.